99% of dog owners think they're loving their dog, but they're actually breaking their heart. After 15 years as a dog behaviorist, I've learned the truth. That loving stare your dog gives you. It's not always love. Sometimes, it's silent suffering. Today, I'm going to reveal 19 heartbreaking mistakes you're making without knowing it. Let's begin with mistake number 1. The food flip disaster. You're switching their food too fast and creating a digestive nightmare that turns your home into a vomit and diarrhea crime scene. Your dog's stomach is like a delicate ecosystem. Suddenly changing food brands is like dropping a nuclear bomb on their gut bacteria. Here's what happens. New food hits their unprepared digestive system, their stomach rebels, and you're cleaning explosive diarrhea at 3 a.m. while your dog suffers through painful cramps. Then you get angry at them for making a mess when you caused the problem. Use the 10% rule. Day 1 is 90% old food, 10% new food. Day 2 is 80% old, 20% new. Keep increasing by 10% daily until fully switched. This prevents the digestive chaos and saves your carpets from becoming a biohazard zone. Your dog's stomach will thank you, and you won't be scrubbing poop out of your Persian rug at midnight. But digestive torture isn't the worst thing you're putting them through. What I'm about to reveal will make you look at your dog's paws in horror. The hygiene disaster. You're skipping nail trimming day and literally creating a medical emergency that will haunt your dog forever. Long nails aren't just uncomfortable. They're deforming your dog's feet, changing how they walk, and causing joint pain that radiates through their entire body. Here's the terrifying part: when nails grow too long, the quick, that's blood vessels and nerves, grows with them. So if you procrastinate for months, you can't just cut them short anymore without hitting those nerves. Your dog will bleed, scream in agony, and develop a phobia of nail clippers that lasts their entire life. This neglect doesn't just hurt them physically. It breaks their trust in you as their protector. They're thinking, my human lets me suffer when they could easily prevent it. It's preventable abuse disguised as laziness. But physical pain isn't even the worst torture you're putting them through. Wait until you hear about the psychological damage you're causing every single day. The social torture. You're forcing your dog into social situations they hate, and it's psychological torture. Picture this: you're at your company party, and your boss keeps dragging you to network with people you can't stand. That awkward, trapped feeling. That's your dog's reality every single day. Your dog is literally screaming, "Help me," through their body language. Tail tucked between legs? That's panic mode. Looking away constantly. They're trying to become invisible. That weird stiff tail wag. It's not happiness. It's pure stress saying, I hate this, but I'm trying to be polite. Your dog isn't antisocial. They're protecting their mental health. They know toxic energy when they feel it. But here's the kicker. This social anxiety you're creating leads to even bigger problems that will shock you, especially when you discover how you're destroying their sense of security. The routine destroyer. You're destroying their mental peace by being unpredictable, and it's giving your dog anxiety disorder. Dogs are like that friend who needs to know the restaurant, exact time, guest list, and parking situation before they'll agree to hang out. They crave predictability, like you crave your morning coffee addiction. Think about it. If you never knew when your next meal was coming, when you'd get to use the bathroom, or when you'd see sunlight, you'd be a nervous wreck too. Your dog's brain is constantly asking, when do I eat? When do I go out? Is my human coming back? No routine equals constant anxiety, which equals behavioral problems, which equals you getting frustrated and yelling. It's a vicious cycle that you started. But this unpredictability creates another problem that's even more damaging to your relationship. And it involves something you use every single day in your house. The chemical warfare. You're basically conducting chemical warfare on your dog's super sensitive nose, and it's like torture. Your dog's sense of smell is 40 times stronger than yours. Imagine if someone sprayed industrial-strength perfume directly into your nostrils every single day. The 2020 cleaning frenzy turned everyone into bleach-obsessed maniacs. But while you're feeling proud of your clean home, your dog is suffocating. Every harsh chemical you use creates a toxic cloud that burns their nasal passages and overwhelms their system. They can't escape it. They live in it. Think about it. If a whiff of strong perfume gives you a headache, imagine what bleach fumes do to a nose that's 40 times more sensitive. Your dog is walking around with a constant chemical-induced headache, and you have no idea, because they can't tell you. But this sensory assault isn't the most psychologically damaging thing you're doing. Next, I'll expose how your inconsistent behavior is literally driving your dog insane. The consistency killer. You're being inconsistent and literally driving your dog insane with mixed signals. Monday's rule. No pulling on the leash, you bad dog. Tuesday's exception. Oh, it's your bestie, Max. Go ahead and drag me across the street. Your dog is internally screaming, "Make up your mind, human." This inconsistency is psychological torture. Imagine having a boss who changes the company rules every single day without warning. One day, you're Employee of the Month. The next, you're fired for doing the exact same thing. You'd quit, right? Well, your dog can't quit. They're stuck with your confusing leadership forever. Your dog is desperately trying to figure out the rules of your household, but you keep changing them based on your mood, convenience, or who's watching. This creates anxiety, frustration, and behavioral problems that you caused. But this mental confusion leads to something that can physically harm your dog, and it's all about the speed at which you expect them to learn. The speed demon. You're moving too fast with training and creating learned helplessness that destroys your dog's confidence forever. You teach them to sit in your quiet living room, then expect them to perform the same command in Times Square during rush hour. That's like learning to drive in an empty parking lot, then immediately taking the freeway during a snowstorm. Your dog's brain can't process that many distractions at once. They're not being stubborn. They're being overwhelmed. Every time you skip training steps, you're setting them up for failure and eroding their confidence. They start thinking, "I can't do anything right. My human is always disappointed in me." This creates a broken dog who stops trying because they've learned that failure is inevitable. Baby steps build confidence and success. Giant leaps create anxiety and behavioral problems. Your impatience is destroying your dog's self-esteem. But there's something even more heartbreaking you're doing. You're completely ignoring their most basic needs, and it's driving them to desperation. The need neglector. You're ignoring their natural dog instincts and wondering why they're destroying your house in revenge. Dogs need to chew, smell, dig, and run around. It's not optional, it's hardwired into their DNA. Denying these needs is like putting a marathon runner in a tiny cage and expecting them to be calm. Your dog's destructive behavior isn't spite, it's a desperate cry for help. Those chewed-up shoes? That's your dog saying, "I have energy and instincts bursting out of me, and you're giving me nothing to do with them." They're not being bad, they're being driven insane by boredom and frustration. Imagine if someone locked you in a room with nothing to do, no entertainment, no outlets for your energy. You'd eventually start tearing the wallpaper off the walls too. Your dog needs mental stimulation and physical outlets, or they'll create their own entertainment using your expensive furniture. But denying their nature isn't the most relationship-destroying thing you're doing. What comes next will make you question everything about how you discipline your dog. The punishment trap. You're using punishment and fear to control your dog, and it's destroying their soul. Punishment doesn't create obedience. It creates a broken, terrified animal who obeys out of fear, not love. Every time you yell, hit, or intimidate your dog, you're teaching them that you're dangerous and unpredictable. Your dog should run to you when they're scared, not run from you, because you are the scary thing. Fear-based relationships are toxic, whether it's humans or dogs. You're creating a pet who walks on eggshells, constantly worried about your next outburst. Think about it. Would you want to live with someone who screams at you, punishes you, and makes you feel like you're always in trouble? Your dog feels the same way. They start shutting down emotionally, becoming anxious, and losing their personality. You're not training them. You're breaking their spirit and turning your best friend into a nervous wreck who's afraid of their own shadow. But there's something even more traumatic you're doing, and it involves the emotional atmosphere of your entire home. The emotional vampire. You're arguing and fighting around your dog, and it's giving them PTSD. When you scream at your spouse, your dog doesn't understand the words, but they feel every emotion. They can smell your stress hormones, feel your tension, and sense your anger. And they think the world is ending. Your dog's brain is processing this as, my pack leaders are in danger. Something terrible is happening. I need to protect them, but I don't know from what. It's like being in a foreign country where everyone's screaming and you have no idea if there's a fire, earthquake, or war happening. This emotional chaos creates anxiety disorders in dogs. They start pacing, panting, hiding, or developing separation anxiety because they're constantly worried about their human's safety. Your relationship drama is traumatizing your innocent dog who just wants their family to be happy and safe. But there's one more mistake that's completely undermining everything, and it has to do with how you see your dog as an individual. The assumption trap. You're assuming all dogs are identical and setting impossible expectations that crush their individual spirit. Just because your previous golden retriever was a calm angel doesn't mean this one will be. Every dog has a unique personality, energy level, and learning style. Expecting them to be carbon copies is insane. This is like expecting all humans to have identical personalities. Your current dog might be a high-energy hurricane, while your last one was a couch potato. Neither is wrong. They're just different. When you compare them constantly, you're basically telling your dog, "You're not good enough. My ex-dog was better than you." This comparison destroys their confidence and makes them feel like they're constantly disappointing you. They start trying to be something they're not, which creates stress and behavioral problems. Accept your dog's unique personality instead of trying to force them into your previous dog's mold. But there's one final betrayal that's the absolute worst, and it reveals the most toxic expectation of all. The expectation trap. You expect your dog to be perfect without teaching them anything, and it's the equivalent of expecting someone to perform brain surgery after watching one TikTok video. This is psychological abuse disguised as pet ownership. I witnessed this insanity firsthand. A guy screaming at his excited Labrador for jumping on guests. When I asked about his training routine, he looked at me like I'd asked him to solve quantum physics. His answer, "We don't really train him." Then why are you angry? Your dog isn't being disobedient. They're being a dog. They're doing exactly what untrained dogs do. Being enthusiastic, loving, and completely confused by your random anger. You're basically punishing them for your own laziness and calling it discipline. This creates trust issues that last forever. But there's something even more physically harmful you're doing, and it's the cruelest form of emotional manipulation. The ultimate betrayal. You're being inconsistent with love and affection, and it's the cruelest form of emotional abuse. Your dog craves routine affection, just like they crave routine feeding. When you're hot and cold with your love, cuddling them one day, ignoring them the next, you're creating an anxious, insecure dog who never knows where they stand. This inconsistent love is psychological torture. Your dog is constantly thinking, "Did I do something wrong? Does my human still love me? Why won't they pet me today when they couldn't stop yesterday?" They start desperately performing tricks, following you everywhere, and becoming clingy because they're terrified of losing your love. Your dog chose you as their entire world. They don't have other friends, hobbies, or interests. You are their everything. When you withhold affection randomly, you're breaking their heart and making them question their worth. Consistent love creates confident, secure dogs. Inconsistent love creates anxious, needy dogs who never feel safe in their own home. Don't make your dog wonder if they're still loved. They deserve better than your emotional mood swings. But wait, I thought I was done. But there's actually something even more shocking that 90% of dog owners do every single day. The attention thief. You're stealing their attention by being glued to your phone. Your dog is desperately trying to connect with you, but you're scrolling through TikTok like a zombie. They bring you their favorite toy. You ignore them. They nudge your hand. You push them away. Your dog doesn't understand why a glowing rectangle is more important than them. They start acting out, barking, or destroying things just to get your attention. It's not bad behavior. It's a cry for help. They're thinking, "Remember me?" Your best friend who loves you unconditionally. When you finally look up from your phone, they're so excited they go crazy, jumping, spinning, losing their minds with joy. That desperate excitement isn't cute. It's heartbreaking. Your dog shouldn't have to compete with social media for your love. But this digital neglect leads to something even worse. And it involves the weather outside your door. The exercise torturer. You're forcing them to exercise in extreme weather and calling it dedication. Walking your dog on scorching hot pavement is like making them walk barefoot on a frying pan. Those paws are burning, but they can't tell you to stop. The 5-second rule. If you can't keep your hand on the pavement for 5 seconds, it's too hot for your dog's paws. But you ignore this and drag them out anyway, because dogs need exercise. Winter is equally brutal. Those tiny paws on freezing ice and salt that burns their skin. Your dog is suffering in silence, developing paw injuries and associating walks with pain. They start refusing to go outside, and you think they're being lazy. They're not lazy. They're protecting themselves from your neglect. Check the weather, protect their paws, or stay inside. But weather torture isn't the worst thing you're doing to their body. What I'm about to reveal happens every single night. The sleep destroyer. Number 16. You're ruining their sleep and creating an insomniac monster. Dogs need 12 to 14 hours of sleep daily, but you're treating them like a college student pulling all-nighters. Loud music, TV blasting, people stomping around. Your dog can't get quality rest in this chaos. Sleep deprivation makes dogs irritable, anxious, and aggressive. Just like you become a monster when you don't sleep, your dog turns into a behavioral nightmare. They start snapping, whining, and acting out because their brain isn't functioning properly. You wonder why your dog is suddenly misbehaving, but you've been torturing them with sleep deprivation for months. They need a quiet, dark space to recharge. Your dog isn't being dramatic. They're having a mental breakdown from exhaustion. But destroying their sleep schedule leads to an even more dangerous problem. And it involves turning your home into a prison. The isolation chamber, you're locking them in isolation and calling it crate training. Your dog isn't a prisoner, but you're treating them like one. 8 hours in a tiny cage while you're at work, then more cage time as punishment. This is solitary confinement. Dogs are social animals who crave companionship. Extended isolation creates depression, anxiety, and behavioral problems. They start self-destructing, excessive licking, pacing, or going completely catatonic. Your dog isn't being calm in that crate. They're emotionally shutting down to survive. When you finally let them out, they explode with pent-up energy and desperation. You get annoyed at their hyperactivity, but you created this monster. They're not hyperactive. They're having a psychological breakdown from prolonged isolation. Crates should be safe spaces, not prison cells. But this imprisonment isn't the most trust-destroying thing you do. Wait until you hear about the promises you break. The fake promise breaker. Number 18. You're breaking promises and destroying their trust forever. You say, "We'll go for a walk later," then conveniently forget. You promise treats for good behavior, then get distracted. Your dog remembers everything, and they're keeping score of your broken promises. Dogs live in the moment, but they also build expectations based on your patterns. When you consistently lie to them, they stop believing you. That excited tail wag when you mention walk gradually fades to indifference because they've learned you don't mean what you say. Your dog starts ignoring your commands because why should they trust someone who constantly breaks their word? You wonder why they're not responsive anymore, but you taught them that your words mean nothing. Broken promises create broken relationships. Your dog isn't being stubborn. They're protecting themselves from disappointment. But this trust destruction leads to something even more heartbreaking: the ultimate betrayal of their pure love. The emotional manipulator. The final and most disgusting thing. You're using your dog's unconditional love to manipulate them. You know they'd do anything for you, so you exploit their loyalty. You use their desperation for your approval to control them instead of earning their respect through genuine leadership. Your dog loves you so much they'll endure abuse, neglect, and mistreatment just to stay with you. And you know this. You take advantage of their pure, innocent love because you know they can't leave you. It's the ultimate betrayal, using someone's love against them. You're not a dog owner. You're an emotional parasite feeding off their unconditional devotion while giving them scraps of attention in return. Your dog deserves a human who protects, respects, and cherishes their love, not someone who exploits it. The saddest part? Even after everything you've put them through, they still love you. That's not loyalty, that's tragedy. So there you have it, 19 ways you're accidentally making your dog's life miserable. The good news? Now you know, and you can fix it. Your dog forgives easily, but they never forget. Start implementing these changes today and watch your relationship transform. Which of these 19 things were you guilty of? Comment below. I read every single one. And if you want to become the human your dog deserves, subscribe right now because I'm dropping a video next week about the 10 things that make dogs absolutely obsessed with their humans. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. See you in the next video.